An indictment for 8 men in an alleged plot to attack the UFC event at the White House last month. Federal prosecutors say the group planned to use explosive-laden drones and snipers to target that event. Thankfully, authorities disrupted the alleged plot. Now, if convicted, the people accused could face life in prison.
The indictment charges all 8 men with 2 conspiracy counts. The first count is a conspiracy to provide material support to terrorists by way of money, firearms, ammunition, body armor, explosives, drones, medical and communications equipment, as well as personnel, with the knowledge and intent that those resources were to be used in preparation for and to carry out the murder of federal officers and employees in the course of an attack on a federal facility and the use of a weapon of mass destruction.
Live now to CBS News Justice reporter Jake Rosen. So, Jake, officials charged those defendants, 8 of them, in 2 separate conspiracies. Can you explain the significance of that?
Yeah, Reed, what happened here is that there were initial 5 arrests and 5 charges across the country in 5 different states 2 weeks ago when this foiled attempt was first announced by FBI Director Kash Patel and federal law enforcement. From there, we saw 2 additional charges around the country, and what this does, Reed, after an additional arrest, making 8 defendants, is consolidate all of those cases to Ohio, where this case will be federally prosecuted, and meaning that there won't be separate cases for all these separate men scattered around the country, as had been the case so far. And also what this does is charge them in 2 separate conspiracies, like you point out. The first of which is extremely notable just in this Trump administration for material support, allegedly, of a terror organization, in this case, likely saying that this group was intending to work as a terrorist organization, potentially even going so far as Antifa or a group aligned like that to cause damage. This was used once prior in the Northern District of Texas after a July 4th attack last year by an Antifa cell. This Trump administration has used this charge, typically reserved for charging people who are supporting terrorist organizations overseas, for charging people here domestically for sponsoring or working towards assisting alleged terrorist organizations. Also, what this does is charge everyone with a conspiracy to attack these federal law enforcement and federal officials, including President Trump, top foreign leaders that were at this UFC event, in addition to a number of senators and congressmen that were at this event. It's a big move by this Department of Justice to take what is now the big concrete case of a foiled terror attack, given all that we've covered of the threat environment around President Trump and his security apparatus over the last days and weeks, and to test whether this terror charge can stick, Reed, but also whether these people actually had enough evidence against them to be found guilty in a court of law. It's, scattered evidence based on what we've seen in federal indictments and court documents so far of how far this group actually could have gotten, Reed, but we know at least a few of these members had actually started planning towards traveling towards Washington, D.C., and actually some of them had gotten in their cars to head towards D.C. before they realized that certain members of this group had already been arrested and detained by federal law enforcement, and the plot was foiled.
All right, Jake Rosen, thank you so much.